actual gap in terms of, compared to, Norway is very well equipped. Here in the UAE, I think it's probably a curve that needs to be moved up fairly rapidly, particularly as the number of EVs in the UAE is now growing quite significantly. So there is, I think, an infrastructure deficit, which may get worse over time unless there is kind of firm investment to deal with it. But it's not just the actual gap, it's the perceived gap. So if people do not feel that there is slow or rapid charging available for the use they want to put the vehicle, that's going to put them off buying it or using it in the first place. So I think there's an actual and a perceived, and the infrastructure gap, I think, is the key thing that, that's the last bit of the jigsaw that really needs to be known.
Thank you. If you would like to make a very quick pulse check, I think most of us can believe that EV can outperform ICE vehicles, not in the extreme temperatures or in the extreme harsh conditions. But if I need to check on you, Hassan and Jonathan, or maybe Hani also would like to share your comments on that part. So do we believe that EV vehicles can outperform ICE vehicles in the harsh extreme conditions?
I believe so. I believe EV's performance is getting developed very fast since we started, and then nowadays the progress is very fast. But we can see in extreme conditions and operations where we never expected EV would survive. We run even on aggregate transport, for example, site vehicle, like the previous panel was also talking about construction equipment. These are very tough operations, sand, humidity, weather, temperatures. But it's proven there are challenges, but performance-wise, they are energy efficient, and this is sustainability basically. So when we say sustainability, we need to be energy efficient. We consume less for doing the same job, and this is where the EV would really outperform ICE vehicles.
Very good. Jonathan, what would you say?
So in relation to
just a pulse check, do you believe that EV vehicles can outperform ICE vehicles in the harsh extreme conditions?
Yes.
Good.
And I think it's just a question of time. It's a question of chemistry, a question of physics. It will happen, but I will also add, and again, as we mentioned in the previous couple of previous panels, we talk about connected or autonomous. In the future. The path to connected autonomously comes through electric. You cannot automate a vehicle that is powered by an internal combustion. You cannot possibly. So, in order to get to some of the other vehicle functionality that people are very excited about and will deliver better safety, better network management, better user benefits, all of these other things, electric actually is a key stepping stone to get to those other things.
Very good. Mr. Iyad, you and your organization are doing something very important, not only for this country, but also for the entire region. When you're producing a product, a vehicle, in the local markets, what kind of advantages or disadvantages you have compared to global OEMs?
A bit of hearing difficulties. We don't have a speaker against us, so if you can just repeat the question, please.
Sorry. I was saying locally producing is very, very important, not only for this country, but also for the entire region. What kind of advantages or disadvantages you see compared to global OEMs?
Advantages are really clear. We build and customize the product to the local market and local requirement. We also build the public transit vehicles with the specification of the various government departments. So they have their own requirements, their own standards, and their own, if you like, operation procedures. So doing it locally, bring that value. However, the industry in general, or the manufacturing, the automotive manufacturing in general, is an ecosystem. It has to also integrate with all the other aspects that you would need in order to make this industry successful. Probably start, in my opinion, before the product, start with the regulation, or the direction, or the culture, or the needs. And then you grow it into a product. And then you will probably face the challenges, but at least you know what you want and you can find solution. If it was only for the EV vehicles, it would have been very rough as well. I don't envy my friend Harry on that. But you know, we all came from the same background. Volvo led anyway in that. So Hafilat luckily started with normal combustion. That's what made us in the position of building the first electric bus in UAE some 5 years ago, but also in conjunction and through the goodwill of Mazda City at the time and Mazda Institution at that time. So I still encourage people to think of local venture and local manufacturing, and it won't come as easy as it might be in other locations.
Thank you very much, Mr. Iyad. So while we are with you, maybe we can still continue with that. In the real world extreme environments, how often do electric vehicles need support systems, such as cooling, energy buffers, backup storage, charging, and ironically, is it contradicting the overall sustainability impact of the EV vehicles?
Last question is the catch-22. Very hard really to build the final number out of this. But the challenges in order to run on, if you like, electric driveline require actually extra hidden infrastructures. And also it does require from time to time to have a specific product that will suit. I remember the first EV as a bus used probably 10 years ago. It failed in the summer because it was air-cooled batteries. So actually we jumped all of us to the liquid-cooled batteries to resolve this. Issues related to the sequential shutdown when you have a failure on your powertrain, and how you organize that in a way that makes sense. The requirement, in my opinion, is again an integrated, complete system that you need to think about it holistically and to provide the solution, not the vehicle.
Thank you. Hani, I would like to get your view on two aspects, vehicle and the charging infrastructure. Do you believe is it more strategic to start optimizing the charging infrastructure, or manufacturers, OEMs, should be more focusing on the vehicles or the EV development in general?
Yeah, I think strategically, I would say infrastructure is important. This is where you have the direction in the country, or even the manufacturers would go into that direction. So we can see the product development is going in a way, and it's progressing very fast. But again, there are OEMs who are producing in a mass, and every country needs also to find a way. So I would say infrastructure is a very important thing. If we give example on hydrogen, for example, fuel cell, yes, the product has been developed massively and it can operate in hot climates. However, the infrastructure for a thing like hydrogen is still challenging. So again, it's a country decision to would I continue and invest and strategically I want to have that direction. Similarly for the battery electric, to scale up is something where you need to really work on focus on infrastructure, the power availability, and when you want to have a network all over a country with that span, again, I would say this is yes, infrastructure is, and out-of-the-box solutions where you have challenges, you don't have a grid here, how we can get sustainable or develop more of renewables and how to get a portion of renewables into the grid slowly, and then we are really developing a sustainable infrastructure. That is, I believe, more vision.
Thank you. Mr. Iyad, would you like to share your comments on that part? Charging infrastructure, rates for the vehicles needs to develop in the extreme harsh conditions.
Look, I think this is more into the sustainable urban development, something probably I think Atkins Fields would be able to shed more light on. But in that, I would say, vision of an integrated ecosystem, infrastructure, if it comes to EV, if you like, you probably can and like to separate between the commercial vehicles and private vehicles. Much easier on cars. The need of a charger is not that great. You can fix this 3 or 5 pin charger in your house or in your office. Unlikely you can do this for a bus. And it is also unlikely you would provide a bus station with one charger. So you would have a charging farm. And that requires a huge, feed power from the net. And that requires another sort of empowerment on those substations. So probably you need 33 kilovolt to drive down to a station where you can feed more than 10 or 15 buses, especially nowadays using fast chargers. That is actually a pure infrastructure challenge rather than anything to do with industry. Easy to buy, easy to build, easy to assemble. Probably not that expensive. But all the associated challenges to reach there gets you into more than 6-7 facets together. So it has to be with the power producer, power transmission company, power distribution company, municipalities, roads, transportation authorities, then operators, then you will end up with the vehicle. So we are at the end of a line that plenty of other minds need to work probably ahead of us in order to make it successful.
Thank you. Thank you for the insightful comments.